Today we're trying a recipe that only has 2 ingredients, and this recipe seemed too good to be true. A couple months ago, we tried a viral keto pasta by Keto Asian Flavors, and you guys seemed to really like it. We really liked it too, and it involved egg yolk powder and sodium alginate and putting the pasta into a bath that made it hard. But this recipe only has 2 ingredients, which are mozzarella and egg yolk. So Sarah and I are kind of skeptical of this recipe, not sure why, but on the Tasty website, it does look tasty. So we're gonna give it a go. I think it's more about the technique in this recipe than anything else, which kind of scares me because you know us. So for this recipe, all you're gonna need is 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. A lot of times companies will be adding potato starch into their cheese to keep the morsels from sticking together. So if you shred your own cheese, then you can avoid that potato starch and therefore avoid the net carbs that come along with that potato starch. So for this recipe, you're gonna need 1 cup of mozzarella cheese and 1 egg yolk. Add your 1 cup of mozzarella cheese to a bowl. So then you're gonna put the bowl into the microwave for 1 to 2 minutes. So I kind of forgot that Sarah's microwave is really strong. I mean, it's on the default settings from whatever it came from the manufacturer. A couple weeks ago, we put egg custard in the microwave and it blew up. So it's only been about 1 minute and 15 seconds. And this is really melted. So you're gonna wanna keep an eye on it. This looks pretty good to go. I'm just gonna stir it a little bit. It does say in the instructions to let it cool for 30 seconds. After that, you're gonna put your egg yolk into the melted cheese and carefully combine it with a spatula.
Just make sure that you evenly distribute the egg yolk throughout the cheese. I think you'd want a nice, consistent yellow color throughout, right?
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna heat it up for like 15 seconds to get it nice and hot again because we didn't mix it fast enough. I don't think so.
There you go.
So now that you've got your melted cheese thoroughly combined with your egg yolk, that's set aside, we're gonna be laying out a sheet of parchment paper. We're using these Reynolds Kitchen parchment sheets. They're very convenient for us to use. We can link them below. This looks like a club that the mob would use or something. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna try to use this then. Very authentic.
Do they say a thickness that we need to achieve?
Press it down with your hands until thin. It doesn't say how thin. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Just reading through some of the comments. I know, don't read the comment section of the internet. Emily, why are you doing it? Because I like to torture myself. Don't make this. It turned out like wet cheese. Another comment. It's just wet cheese. Do not make. Someone said, make sure you don't stir the pasta while it's boiling. We made the mistake of doing this and the pasta broke into small chunks and then stuck all together. Part of the reason why I like reading the comments, besides me getting triggered, is that, especially on keto recipes, is that you'll get a lot of information from people that made mistakes. So one of the good things in here, it says here, someone said to put this in the freezer for 10 minutes. This will let the pasta harden enough to allow for smooth cutting. So actually, I'm going to take them up on this advice. It's not in the recipe. I'm gonna stick it in the freezer for a couple minutes and then we're gonna get to cutting our pasta. But before that, we're gonna talk about the sponsor of this video, Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. When you go into ketosis, you shed a lot of water, and in that water are your electrolytes. This can lead to you feeling like you are nauseous, have fatigue, and other symptoms that other people call the keto flu. Element replenishes your electrolytes so you feel better. Sarah and I have been talking about Element electrolytes for years, way before they started sponsoring videos on our channel. That's because they are literally the best tasting electrolyte supplements that we've ever tried, and we've tried many of them. We drink Element every day, and it helps us drink more water because Sarah and I are terrible about drinking water unless there's Element in it. And if you haven't tried Element yet, what are you waiting for? They are offering a free sample pack to our community. All you have to do is pay for shipping. You can click the link in the description and get your sample pack today. Thank you so much to Element for sponsoring another video on our channel. Sponsors help keep our channel going, and thank you guys for supporting our sponsors. Nice and cold. Okay, so now I'm going to peel off the top layer of parchment paper and unveil the pasta underneath. And this is where it all could go terribly wrong, because we have to cut this pasta now with a pizza cutter, and doing it in a way that is symmetrical seems like it's going to be a problem for us. We're going to try our best though. We want probably about 1/4 of an inch, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't eaten pasta in a while.
Probably like 1/4 of an inch thickness.
I want angel hair thickness.
No.
I'm an angel hair fan.
I am too, honestly, because I feel you get more pasta. More individual strands of pasta.
Mm-hmm. It's way too thin. You need to do thicker. Pasta makers, we are not.
Well, I'm sure in Italy they don't cut pasta with a pizza roller. That would be sacrilegious.
Yeah.
We have cut our rustic pasta shapes, and I'm going to be carefully laying them out onto this tray. And then we're going to be putting them into the refrigerator overnight, at least 6 hours. Some of the moisture needs to dry out for these to cook properly. So I'm going to carefully transfer all of these noodles onto my drying rack right now, while Sarah criticizes me.
Like, you don't criticize me, please. Whoever holds the camera does the criticizing. Are these French fries or pasta?
They don't look like the worst thing we've ever made. So honestly, on the scale of Emily and Sarah's creations, these don't look that bad. There have been some that have looked a little suspect from the get-go, like the Heavenly Fans French fries that we made that shamed her and her channel. No, I'm kidding. We recovered in the second attempt at that recipe. Or the egg custard that Sarah blew up in the microwave a couple weeks ago. These are actually looking quite hopeful at this point. All right, so all of our pasta is laid out on the baking tray on top of a roasting pan. We are going to cover it with the parchment paper and stick it in the fridge, and then we will see you guys tomorrow. So it's the next day, about 24 hours later. The pasta has been sitting in Sarah's refrigerator. We're gonna unveil it, and then we're going to cook it. So let's see what we've got.
Very yellow in color.
You know what though? It does have kind of like that drier appearance of pasta. So we're gonna put the original tasty recipe in the description below if you guys wanna check it out. But next up, they boil a pot of water, and don't put salt in the water or anything, just bring it to a boil. This is to a boil now. We're gonna drop in our pasta into the water for 40 to 60 seconds. You're gonna put the pasta into a colander, and you're gonna run it very quickly with cold water to stop the heating process. So we have our pasta here. It doesn't look like a lot, actually. We have some pesto that we're gonna warm up in a pan. We're going to toss our pasta in it. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on it. We're gonna plate it up, and we're gonna try it. Here we are. Looks legit. You have to be kind of gentle when you are cooking this pasta because it is cheese, so it can melt. I tried to warm up the pesto in the saucepan, and then I forgot, like, to warm it all together as I was stirring it, and then I forgot for a second that it was mostly made of cheese. So it does kind of have like a crinkly appearance because I think that I was in the beginning stages of melting the cheese back together, but I did save it. Cheers. Cheers. Beep. I like it. It does remind me of pasta, like a doughy consistency, and maybe like an al dente type of pasta. I would say that you kind of have to eat this on the colder side, just because if not, then it's going to melt into a big blob. But it does remind me of pasta. My first impression as I was like rinsing off the pasta with cold water after we were done boiling it was how little it was. I used to order pasta in a restaurant, and it would be like a pound of pasta. It's probably what you should be eating when you have pasta. But remember, with these things, this is mainly cheese, and so your eyes are going to filling. Your eyes are going to be bigger than your stomach. If you eat it slow, you should be full after eating this amount. And maybe have like a side salad with this, or a side of vegetables. Bulk it up a little bit. But I think it's really good. So when we tried the other viral keto pasta that was by Keto Asian Flavors, that had a lot more ingredients, and it was a lot more. It costs more money to make that. Let's be honest, because some of those ingredients cost like $20 for a little bag of it. This is literally just mozzarella cheese and an egg yolk. I would probably double up the recipe though if you're feeding more than one person, because it doesn't really give you that much. Like, this was 1 cup of cheese and 1 egg yolk. So I think it is important that you take that step and let it dry out in the refrigerator. You need the cheese to dry in order for it to
not fall apart
or melt back together. So do that step, put it in the refrigerator, and at least for 6 hours. I think that you'll be pleased with this recipe. It's pretty cool. And if you guys are liking this type of content, please give this video a like. It does help us out with the YouTube algorithm so that more people see our videos. And don't forget to subscribe for more keto lifestyle content. If you guys want to see the video where we made that viral keto noodle recipe by Keto Asian Flavors, you can click on the video on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Emily.
And we are the Keto Twins, signing out.